Welcome to Steve's Indies, and today we're talking about the 2021 Toronto Film Festival. It will soon be upon us, and that means that some of the very best independent films will be up for review. So the film festival scene has been heavily impacted since the start of the pandemic, and TIFF is no exception. But between September 8th to the 18th, the lovely folks of Canada will be subjected to some fantastic premieres in some of the most beautiful venues this beautiful country has to offer. With over 100 films, acclaimed guests, huge events in what is known as the world's largest public film festival. So in this video, I thought I'd bring to you 5 films that I think you should look out for at TIFF 2021. Now on this list, I'm focusing on 5 films that are primarily independently produced and that I believe cannot be missed. Yes, June is a massive feature of this festival, and even though I am really excited to see it and the upcoming sequels, it's very much not independent. I think it was produced by Warner Brothers. It's probably going to have a massive budget, but again, big up to Timothée Chalamet and the June series. So one last thing before I begin, the films listed may or may not have been premieres so far, which basically means that some of them, like June, have already been released at another 2021 premiere. There are many more films to come until September. However, these are 5 unmissables that have been selected so far. So at number 5, I think I'd start with Denis Goulet's dystopian version of 2044 North America. Yes, Night Raiders centers around Niska, who is an indigenous Canadian woman on a mission to save her daughter from the evil government. It's written and directed by Goulet, and the film centers around the idea of resilience, to not just survive in the post-apocalyptic world, but also to thrive. Now, I've only seen a few clips online, but it really does look quite guerrilla to me, and I just love the idea of this dystopian world. I'm a massive fan of post-apocalyptic resistance films. Goulet discusses her film in more detail in a fascinating Berlinale 2021 interview that I will leave in the description below. Next on the list is Belfast, directed by the legendary Shakespearean expert Kenneth Branagh. Now, I don't really know a lot about this apart from the fact that it's set in Belfast in the 1960s, and instantly this has something to do with the civil unrest which has challenged the country for decades. So if you didn't know, Branagh was born in Ireland in the 60s, and this has a real semi-autobiographical theme. I couldn't be more excited for this story. I mean, it's not just great cast, a cracking director, and I don't think you could ask for more of a more accurate dramatical depiction of the events in Ireland in the late 60s. So I just expect drama and a lot of heartfelt realism. At number 3 is the French adaptation of a best-selling novel, Le Bal de Folie, or in English, this means TheMadWoman'sBall. The novel was written by Victoria Mass, and the film will be directed by Melanie Laurent. And I feel this will be exactly what it says on the tin. It's produced by Legende Films and distributed by none other than Amazon Studios as another original. The story centers around 1885 Paris and the Salpentrine Asylum. The Parisian elite are enthralled by a certain doctor who is said to help and hypnotize outcast women who are deemed hysterical or insane. The ball is just basically this sick event that showcases a very rare and complicated time in French history. I guess you could argue that the film challenges how women and the mentally ill people were treated around that time. This best-selling novel was really popular, so I think this adaptation is going to be really good. So down to the final 2 films, and I just had to include this one. As a fan of Danish cinema and Jake Gyllenhaal, I was so excited when I heard Guilty was getting a remake. This fascinating crime thriller is based on the 2018 Danish film about a demoted police officer that is basically assigned to receiving dispatch calls. And in a terrible turn of events, he receives one from a kidnapped woman. There have been a few films like this before that follow the exact same story. I think there was one starring Halle Berry, which was a WWE produced film. But if you have seen The Guilty in 2018, then having Jake in the main role, supported by this excellent cast, just makes it all the more exciting. I'm not really a huge fan of American remakes most of the time, but I'm giving this one the recognition I think it's going to deserve. And number 1 has to be Edgar Wright's much awaited cinematic return, Last Night in Soho. I'm a huge Edgar Wright fan, huge mystery thriller / ghost genre fan, and I just happen to be a big fan of Anna Taylor-Joy and Matt Smith's acting. Basically anything that Edgar Wright has made has its own aura and hype before the trailer has even been released. So it's about a girl that visits London with ambition and desire, and finds herself being mysteriously transported back in time to be faced with a love affair and a very dark, mysterious body swap situation. So I've covered this in a previous video, so if you would like a full preview, then I will leave a link to that one in the description below, or you can just go to my channel and it's quite easy to find. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I have researched all of these upcoming TIFF 2021 indie films. If you know of any independent films that are upcoming in September, then please let me know in the comments below and I'll be very, very happy to review them. Or thumbs up and hit that like button if June is on your watch list for this year. So please do subscribe if you haven't already. And on that note, take care everybody.